Serious answer, it's going to be Stairway to Heaven. Is it going to be Stairway to Heaven? I felt like they already... I don't know.
I don't think there's any Led Zeppelin on Rock Band.
Yeah, that is Zeppelin, right? I didn't even make the connection. They wouldn't... Yeah, it's probably that, then. I bet it will be something like that.
It'll be something classic rock that is a good goodbye song.
Yeah, I can't see... Closing Time is, funny, but, yeah, it's not wow, what a send-off. It won't be Muse. People keep predicting Muse. I don't know where that came from. It will not be Muse.
I think if they do... Freebird. If they do anything like that, they might do Closing Time as a joke and then go, nah, here's the real song.
Yeah.
But I personally don't think that would be a good way to do that, where it's like, oh, we're going to do one song and then they pretend it's Closing Time, unless they don't actually release it, you know? Because I hate when things like that are done. That was my biggest fear at the end of Lost, was that it was just going to be like, but did it really end like that?
Yeah.
No, it's been 6 years. Just give me an end.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's shit. I don't care if it's great. Before it came out.
Yeah.
Just give me an end. There's a beginning. There needs to be an end.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons I didn't have a problem with the Lost ending.
Yeah.
But I'm one of few. But
but regardless of what you thought about the things surrounding the ending and what it ended up being, you can't argue with that. Show started with a guy opening his eye and it ended on a guy closing his eye. The end. You know what I mean? It's that you can't argue with. It had a very definite beginning end.
Yep.
Regardless of what happened between those bookends. And that was good. Yeah, I didn't want it to end on a note that
yeah. I thought they did. I mean, not to get totally into this conversation because we'll be here for the next 3 hours.
It's always you and me, too.
Oh, well, you're the only other person I can talk to aside from my girlfriend about Lost in this much depth.
Yeah.
But, I thought that they did a great way. Derek always said that it was a good end to season 6. Mm-hmm. I felt like it was a good end to the series. In retrospect, I know that there are problems with the show.
Yeah.
And I will readily admit that.
Yeah.
And I will never defend anything that they did that wasn't, good quality.
Yeah.
But I thought that they did a good job of ending that show.
Yeah.
You had a show that was really not... It was very detached from what you were actually seeing, and more about ideas and philosophies and themes. And I thought they did a good idea of closing those themes.
Yeah.
And while Jack,
the themes all did get closure.
You might not have known exactly what Walt was. You might not have known exactly why Jack did this, or what the smoke monster really meant, or whatever. They gave you themes and ideas right from the beginning.
Yep.
They closed those out at the end.
Yeah.
It was complete.
Regardless of the strange things along the way.
Yeah.
And I was going to say, I think that the people saying that it's not, it's a good closing to season 6, but not to the series, are thinking too short-sighted.
Yeah.
Because I know what they mean is oh, what a great ending to The Flash Sideways. And they don't think further than that. Because it is. Okay, it ends The Flash Sideways, which is a season 6 thing.
Yeah.
But the fact that finally these characters find peace, and once they make terms with it and let go, the whole show is about escaping baggage. The black cloud following them is a representation of their baggage.
Yeah.
You literally have the past following you around going, don't you want to see dead people? Don't you want to, hey, remember when you did this?
Yeah.
Baggage is following them around. At the end, they are finally at a place where that is gone, and they go, fuck it. What does anything in the past matter? I'm happy. I'm in a place of peace.
Yep.
They all unite, and what happens? They all get... By doing all that, they've saved themselves, but they saved the island, too. The island was a dying thing, and they saved that by Jack literally beating the past. Literally.
Yeah.
And killing it. By doing all that, they found peace within themselves, and they saved the island. What is the island, you ask? They all get absorbed into light at the end. 2 episodes after we saw the source of this gold warm light in the heart of this island. It's almost like that was their reward for everything they did in the show to that point to protect the island. Man, I don't know. Weird. I don't think people think that extra step. It's like, oh yeah, that concluded the Flash Sideways. Cool, well, they're all happy now. It's not just that they're happy now. It's that they let go, and this was their reward. The island gave them that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think, I think it was David Chase, the executive producer, creator of Sopranos.
Yeah.
Said what I'm about to say best.
Yeah.
If you see, like, let's say, like, to end a show, you're never going to give people the ending they want. Mm-hmm. You never are. Some people are. Everyone's always going to have a problem. And then if you show characters dying, mm-hmm. it diminishes the quality of the character, mm-hmm. especially if it's in a way that isn't suitable. Like, mm-hmm. Charlie, in that when he died. Hey, spoiler alert! If it's 2013, you haven't seen this. I'm sorry, fuck yourself. It's been almost 10 years since the show aired. I'm sorry, I don't care. Wow, that's kind of weird to think that it's been almost 10 years since the show aired. But when a character dies, it needs to be poignant. Yep. And they had 12 or 20, however many characters it was, that they needed to finish a story of. Yeah. And all of them are going to die. Yeah. And I thought they did a very good job in Lost of giving you an end that respected each of the characters. Yeah. Every single character had a close to their story, a close to their problems, like you were saying. Yeah. And then it didn't have to show you them dying or living out the rest of their lives, and like, because nobody's gonna fucking care about Kate and the Kate, Aaron, Claire triangle. Like, I don't want to see that. Yeah. It doesn't matter to me. I don't want to see Sawyer meet his daughter. I don't. Because that doesn't matter to me. What matters is what happened on the island. Yeah. And that's what they did. And I always thought that was really cool that they let you know, everybody died. There is an end here. Yeah. And there's no question about it. Yeah. Everybody died. And then they all found peace together. Yeah. And I thought that was a really cool way to end the show. That was the most important time in their lives, and the most, important thing in their hearts was there. And I also think that another thing I hear a lot of nitpicking on sometimes that I think the show made a very bold choice on too is this is kind of tap dancing around that, I guess. But when people give it crap, like when Jin and Sun died, it's very sad. Yeah. But a lot of people are like, Jin didn't go. He's got a daughter. Yeah. And he didn't go back, which is true in the land of TV writing. That's what you do. Yeah. Go on, Jin, live, raise your daughter, and then he leaves her. But that show made a very bold choice and was like, he never met his daughter, and in that moment he was with the woman he had been after his whole life, and he loved her so much they're finally reunited, and that's happening, and he stayed there to die with her. Yeah. And that was the show. Hey, the show was like, hey, you had to make a decision in that moment, and he stayed with her. I always thought that was a really cool thing. Yeah, because basic TV writing, he should have left, and I thought, wow, he made a bold choice there, and I think they even asked the writers, like, I can't believe you did that, and they said, he had not met his daughter, and that wasn't in his mind, and whatever, it was what happened on the island. I mean, the daughter's not there with them in the church at the end. Nope. The time in their life that was, their daughter went on and did great things, I'm sure, but the time in their life that was the crux of everything was their time on the island, and that was, that had the ultimate bookend. Yeah. And I think, like, the best way that I've found to describe it to people who either refuse to watch it or refuse to, like, because there are people who are like, I don't even want to see anymore because it's just a bullshit show, blah, blah, blah. So they ask me about it because they know that it's, one of my favorite shows. Or people who just don't even want to listen to all this, the stuff that we're bringing up now, all these, like, specific points. And they've watched the whole I remember, like, talking to a woman, and she was like, so they were dead the whole time. And I wanted to call her a dumb idiot because they clearly say the words, no, we have not been dead this whole time. I know. This is a place for you to meet. A guy explains that. For you to move on to the next area together. And the one way that I've found that has been the most effective in explaining it to people is just telling people that the show that you watched, Lost, all 6 seasons of it, is watching these, however many people, these survivors of this plane crash, save this island, and in doing so, save themselves.
Yeah.
And this was the most important thing. Their time on this island was the most important thing they were ever going to do in their life. And you watched them do it. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the show, you watched those people move on to the next thing together.
Yeah.
I think if you can't feel that that's a good way to end a show like that, then I don't know what you're looking for out of Lost.
I don't know what you're looking for in TV shows.
Yeah.
Like what shows do you like?
And that's why I
Storage Wars.
That's why I liked The Sopranos. I watched it again.
Yeah.
This year.
Yeah.
And that was a show.
I'm down to start that again soon.
That was a show that on the first viewing, I think you were telling me this when I was watching it the first time. Yeah. You're like, yeah, you're gonna like the show, and then whenever you go back to watch it, if you ever go back to watch it, you'll appreciate way more than you expected to.
Yeah.
And that was a show that, like, the first time around, I'm like, yeah, Tony Soprano, I love it. More of him.
Yeah.
Edie Falco, I hope. I mean, I don't know because I wasn't paying attention to Sopranos when it was out. I hope she won awards. Holy shit!
I think she did. I think everyone on that show
They
won.
had to have because every single aspect of that show.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've said this before or if anybody's ever said this before about Sopranos, and I hate how this sounds. It is the perfect TV show, from beginning to end, minus like a couple casting issues. Mm-hmm. There is not a thing that I can think of that is inconsistent. They set something up in season 2, it pays off in season 4.
Yeah,
it sets up in season 1, pays off in the last episode of the show. The only thing I found is one character was a no-name character in the first 3 episodes, and then came back as a prominent character in the last half of the show. At which point you didn't really remember who he was because it didn't really give him a name, so it didn't matter. Vito is who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But, like, man, did they do everything that they meant to do with that show?
Yeah, it's kind of just not, there's nothing really shitty about it. You know what I mean? Every show I love still has some, like, goofy shit in it. I mean, I'll be the first to tell you, I love Lost. When you first see the heart of the island for the first time, it's like, what is this goofy, like, light thing?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, and Lost did it had a lot of stumble moments, totally, but it's a good show regardless. Sopranos really doesn't have those, except his mother being CG. But that's one thing that's like, why'd you do that?
The first time I watched it, I didn't really notice because I didn't know that the actress had died at the time.
Yeah.
So, again, spoiler alert, sorry, but like that was kind of like, well, we had to do what we had to do.
Yeah, exactly.
We had to finish this story in some way.
Yeah.
Maybe we could have done it to look better, but I don't think in the terms of like the story.
No, that was a makeshift solution to something that happened.
Which I can't.
So.
The amount of money they spent to make that, with what you ended up getting, like that's kind of like, but man, I mean, from beginning of the show, it's Tony Soprano dealing with his issues.
Yeah.
To the end of the show, where I didn't even notice it the first time, but when he goes out to Nevada. And he meets up with that girl that Chrissy knew. Yeah. I think that was like 2 episodes before the end of the show, and he sees the sun, and he goes, "I get it." Yeah. I never realized that he did. That was it. He no more stress, no more problem. All that shit that was like bugging him before, done, gone. He understood what he needed to do at that point, and I personally think that that's how that was meant to be taken.
Well, but that's what I like about that, is it's like, okay, maybe he does get it. Or also maybe he's one of a billion people who have tried peyote and has looked at something and said, I get it. You know what I mean? It could totally be that maybe he's babbling, but maybe he's not.
Yeah.
But that's why I like The Sopranos, is I felt like every episode gave you oh yeah, but maybe this. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's why that show's good. Why didn't she tell him about the rape? What? Wait, what? That's not okay. Wait.
Is
what
it?
if she had? Then someone would be dead. Maybe that's not okay. You know what? It was always like, wait, let me just ask about.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was okay or not. And every episode gave you a fork in the road, and that's why I liked it.
And people shit on the ending. I think it's one of the best
No,
endings to a TV show.
come on.
Ever.
And like with Lost, that ended, and I went. Honestly, I had the same feeling when I walked out of Prometheus. I went. About half the people won't like that. Okay.
Yeah.
And I have no qualms with that. Yep. But you know, that's a real 50-50, like, okay, whatever. I liked the Lost ending, but I was totally like, I see where people are coming from if they don't. Now, granted, a lot of people just didn't understand it, and that was retarded.
Yeah,
but a lot of people
weird.
there were some people though who totally understood it but thought that wasn't right for the show. To me, it's polarizing. I understand that, but the way Sopranos ended, if you want to sit here and tell me how that wasn't the right ending for that show, I don't even know if I want to hear it. It's like, really, it wasn't? I mean, now it's up for debate for what really happened. I mean, to me, there's not much of a debate.
I think it's pretty clear.
I think it's pretty clear, exactly. But if you want to debate it, you can. But to say that that's not the right ending for that show, I don't think you understood the show personally.
And that's it goes back to what I was saying about Lost. What else do you want?
Yeah.
Out of the end of the show.
Well, the thing is, though, with Lost, I understand because, yeah, you got something very ambiguous with this or that. But I understand, and I totally sympathize. People want an ending where, hello, I am Zeltron, commander of this starcraft that you call an island. I came here long ago to create human life. I could see you've evolved. Goodbye. You know what I mean? Like, some people want the weird shit to erupt out of the ground, tell them what everything was, and blow everything up. Some people want that, and that ending was not that. That ending was mythology back. You know, here's kind of what's really going on, but the mythology is a backseat. We're bookending every theme that was here.
Yeah,
and then it didn't really say anything in words. I think that's what.
When you do that,
yeah,
in my opinion, you get shit endings. And the first thing that popped into my mind when you said, the island erupted and Zeltron comes out and explains it.
Yeah.
That's the end of Assassin's Creed 3. Oh, sorry. I've permanently dubbed that game Ass Creed 3. Because that was what they did at the end of that game, and it was just like, wait, what? Wait, no, I'm sorry, slow down, wait. I'm sorry, what? And then you get this literal ending, and it sounds so stupid.
Yeah.
And then you watch it happen, and you go, I'm sorry, did I just spend 20 hours of my life to get this shit?
Yeah, I just think that an ending like what Lost got gives it power, because if they had explained every single thing, it would have no power.
Exactly.
But the thing is, you kind of still got an answer. In the final moments of the show, in the ultimate moment of these people's lives, they close their eyes and are taken by light. And it's the light that was in the island. You non-verbally got what the island was. This gateway, the last fortress of the afterlife. You were told it was that without anyone having to say it. And that to me is great. I will say, Ryan, that's what I mean. I don't think mythology took a total backseat. Mythology took a backseat in the sense of, like, we're not going to talk about electromagnetism for the whole finale.
Yeah.
It took a backseat in that regard, but it wasn't like it wasn't present. They used the themes of the story to wrap that stuff up.
Yeah.
And I think that's better. That's what I was saying, if I didn't make that clear. But I still think, though, I think almost everything in that show has an answer. I don't think people say like it doesn't, but like I really think it does. People, Ryan actually brought up a minute ago. The only thing I wanted to know was why it was such a big deal if the black smoke got off the island. Well, what we learn is that the monster is bound. The monster is an offshoot of the island's own energy. I mean, when the island is turned off, he isn't that anymore. I mean, he's tied to it.
Yeah.
What we discover is that he is bound to it. He is one with that energy. He died. The guy himself died. It's just his energy pooled in with the rest of this. Again, like the light represents ongoing. It represents life, death, rebirth. They tell you that. They tell you that. All the black smoke does is, hey, remember this? Hey, remember that? It's all the past. It's all bullshit.
Yeah.
That the light shits out when some dead guy comes down and gives them a vessel. You know, whatever. However it is, that it's, you know, maybe he's a little bit of the evil shit that slipped out from underneath, from hell. Whatever. But the point is, he's all tied in with everything there. Okay, why couldn't he leave the island? Why were they pissed if he leaves the island? They say it, and people watch it and they go, oh, they don't mean that literally. But they do! If he leaves the island, they said, what happens if he gets off the island? Hurley is told by Isabella, the ghost of Isabella, Richard Alpert's wife, in his episode, he says, whoa. And Richard's like, what? And he says if that guy gets off the island, we all go to hell. Okay, so people watching that go, oh man, we're all gonna like, a lot of bad stuff is gonna happen. No, he just told you we all go to hell. He literally said we all go to hell. Of course, granted, what does that mean? What do you mean we all go to hell? How do we all go to hell? But what you see in the show is the island is a living thing. The island, you know, throughout the show, there's, oh yeah, the island chose this person. The island won't let this happen. The island has a presence. It spoke to John Locke in certain ways. That wasn't necessarily Jacob. The island had its own agenda. It was a living thing. It had a heart and a circulatory system. Literally, when you see the heart of the island, there is water of life flowing out of it. That was a living thing. And what happens is, there's an ancient hatch down there. When they go down there, clearly someone was digging around, they're fucking around with it, and a leak happened, whatever. There is an ancient form of a hatch there, and there's a big plug in the middle. When they pull that plug, it turns off the island and everything it's been doing to suppress what's underneath. And what happens? You see the fire of hell underneath it. So what do you get at the end of the show? Well, you see that gold light was the salvation and entrance into the afterlife. Without that, well, when they turned it off, what did you see? The hellfire of hell. We wouldn't have gotten an afterlife had the island not been saved. We would have gone to hell. And the reason why the black smoke could not leave the island, they couldn't let them, is what we find out at the end of the show, which is the only way he cannot, by the power of the island, just in the way that Michael couldn't shoot himself and all these other people couldn't do stuff, is that he cannot leave the island unless either all the candidates are dead, there is no one protecting the light anymore, and it's not shielded any longer. Because remember, Jacob had even the heart of the island, no one could see it. Yeah. He tells Jack, hey, it's out in the bamboo field. You're the new Jacob now. Yeah. Remember, drink this. Okay, you can go find it now. I've been out to the bamboo field. There's nothing out there. Oh, there is now. Jacob used his powers to shield it. Without any candidate or any protector hiding that place, it's out and it's exposed. That's it. So either the black smoke, the man in black, whatever you want to call him, gets off that way, and the heart is exposed that anyone could take from it. Remember, the original protector of it said that man will always come try to find it and take it and fuck it up. That is the recurring theme of life, is they will try to get more. Mm-hmm. And anyway, so either it's left exposed and that is the end of it, or the only other way to get off the island is to outright turn that shit off and destroy it. By turning off the light, the island as a living thing dies. You see it wilt. So that's what the man in black discovers, is either, okay, we kill all the protectors, or I just blow this fucking island up. Either way, that is the reason why he cannot be let off the island, because it's the ends to the mean. The only way he can get off the island is by doing one of those two things, which is the end of life, death, rebirth, as they describe the light in the heart of the island. That's why he cannot leave. That was a lot of words, I apologize, but that's why he cannot leave. Is because to leave would be directly, the only way he can leave is in direct violation of life continuing. So that's it. It wasn't that, oh, he's going to like eat kids. Oh, he's going to get off the island and knock trees over. You know. Does that make sense? I don't know.
I think it does.
It does to me.
But I think that's what I've always thought of the show. Like, sometimes I think people want to take things figuratively that are literal.
Yeah.
And they don't want to hear that, like, you'll go to hell. Well, it doesn't need to mean fiery pits of hell against
No,
heaven.
it's not like Lucifer was involved.
It means like there is no continuing. The whole idea of any of the thing that they were talking about, like you were just saying, theology or like mythology and whatever, Anubis and all those like hieroglyphics and all the different like themes they had of that show were life continuing.
Yeah.
And life not necessarily being physical life, but past that. And it's shown in the layers of the physical things you see on the island, the different hatches, the well, the three-toed or the four-toed statue. Then at the end, the very important part, I think, of just showing the sets with nobody there. Where everybody was, the beach and New Otherton and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it's the whole point is that it needs to continue. And hell is that doesn't happen. There is no existence.
It's not even so much that it's hell in the biblical sense. Because none of the stuff in the show is the traditional Judeo-Christian, like... Even the judgment that's in the show, personal or otherwise, is not like the Bible. It's not... when Sawyer kills Locke's dad, there's never, now Sawyer's... There's no like, there better be repercussions for this.
Yeah.
Locke goes, "Are you okay?" Yeah. I can't believe I killed that guy. Well, he was a piece of shit and he had it coming.
Yeah.
That's the end of that.
Yeah.
And it's all about self judgment. Like, was it okay that I did that? Hey, I think it was. When Boone thinks that his sister is dead in that dream he has, do you feel bad? Be honest. Did you feel bad? And in that moment, he's sitting by a fire and he goes, I felt relieved. He didn't give you the good biblical answer like, no, do not kill, whatever. She was a weight off my life. And The Lost goes there. And going back to, bringing that back to what you were talking about, which now I've lost my train of thought of what we were talking about, with hell and all that stuff. It wasn't necessary. Nothing in it is as clear as it's like the biblical version of hell. But no, it's that everything that is will just be was. It won't be. The heart of the island and its light was. You saw what happened when they manipulated it. It altered time. It was time as a physical entity. That's what the energy was. It was time. And when they go there in the afterlife, it's eternity. They say like there's no now here.
Yeah.
It's just that time is an ongoing thing. And without that, well then there's just the past. And that's what I think the black smoke represents. Is he's a sliver from beneath that's just, or a sliver, the part that the light shit out that was just, nope, that's past shit.
What's the exact opposite of light? It's just black.
Yeah. It doesn't get simpler than that.
They and this is why I loved Lost. They literally show you from the beginning, one is white, one is black.
Yeah.
They show you the backgammon pieces. They tell you that there are stories to be like, or not stories, but there's going to be a conflict.
Yeah.
They talk to you about the duality. They show you how he is going to factor later on in the show, whether they knew it or not, with the cut on his eye, the absurdity of one and nothing, like they. I
never thought about that. That's
they set that show up so far ahead. This is why I loved Lost so much. Is that people said that they're kind of just making it up as they go along, and I'm sure they did that for a lot of it. But they also knew what they wanted to do with the show. And anybody who argues that they didn't, I have to just say they didn't want to do 6 seasons. They wanted to do, I think, 4. Or 5.
Yeah. Oh, they wanted to do like 5.
5 seasons of that show. And they negotiated it so that they had the same number of episodes, but they could go an extra year for ABC. And I think that the themes were always going to be white versus black, light and everything that light brings, or nothing. And that's what the smoke monster is.
But even still, what was good about the show is that it never even said, though, there will always be white and black on anything.
Yeah.
But it never told you one was bad. Because even still, in the episode with Jacob and the Man in Black in their backstory, I remember when that ended, people were like, that was stupid. I mean, I actually really sympathized with Man in Black on stuff. He's the villain?
Is he?
But that was the point, is that, yeah, he's got a lot of really good points. He's been kept here this whole time. He represents the side that isn't really, Jacob had this sense of like, almost like, yeah, trust one another, and he had more of it was a religious kind of thing. It was more like kind of almost naive innocence. And with that, there was good. There was, I believe in people. I'm going to give them a chance. I mean, ultimately, he would get stabbed to death, and all these things, whatever. So that would kind of hurt him. He gets conned into being a protector. He doesn't want that.
Yeah.
So it hurts him in that way. But also, he's manipulative too. I mean, in a way that religion often is too. Where later in the show, he gets people to do stuff for him, and Hurley even calls it out, like, you kind of tricked me into doing this, dude. Like,
he says, he's like, if you had just told me what you wanted, I would have done it, and it would have been way easier.
Exactly. Which I think says something about when Hurley becomes protector.
Yeah.
Hurley represents a new age of thinking, which is just say it, just honesty and being more. I think that when they drink the, it's like when. I think there's really heavy I can't talk. Symbolism. When Jacob becomes protector, he drinks. Here, drink this. Drink the wine. Oh, this fancy wine. Okay. When Hurley becomes protector, it's. Do we have something that'll hold water? Yeah. Hold on. And it's a Oceanic Airlines water bottle, and he drinks from that. And I think that's very heavy symbolism in that show.
Yeah.
Of here's the new protector. Here's the guy who makes the rules now. It's not this guy with all his rule. I mean, because that's all Jacob does is he sets up rules on this island like a game. Well, you can't do this. You can do this, but you can't do this.
Yeah.
You can't leave, and you can't leave the island. To do that, no. And then when Hurley drinks it, it's from a airline water bottle. Whatever works, which is Hurley's motto. And he goes, wait, people can't leave the island, can they? How do we get Desmond home? And then Ben says, maybe there's a new way to do this, a better way. That to me said it all right there. That's that's the passing of the guard. That's the next generation. But anyway, going back though, with Jacob and Man in Black, is Jacob represents that kind of side. It's kind of like, I trust people, but I will manipulate if I have to. So there's kind of a dark side. There's a good and bad side to him.
Oh yeah.
But then the Man in Black, he has totally justified reasons. He doesn't have that. It's hey, people have been fucking with me my whole life. I want to go home. Where do I belong? I want to go there. It's question everything.
Yeah.
It's scientific deduction about this and this and this. Wait, you say this is good? Why is it good? Why?
Yeah.
And yeah, that might end up being a little more than Jacob, but he wanted to get to the heart of the island. He didn't wait for someone to do it. He dug for it, and he found it. He got shit done.
Yeah. And
he had good reasons to do it. But what the show really goes and talks about is that it's all about intention. And the thing is you can go too far. Because Jacob was very trusting, and he ended up getting stabbed. Well, Man in Black was so into his own thing. Yeah, I'm right, because this happened. Yeah, so I'm gonna do this. Yeah, and it's like, hey, you're not realizing that like you're killing people, and you know what I mean? He was way off in the other direction. And what the show keeps talking about is extremism being bad.
Yeah.
Either for Jacob or the Man in Black, but you could go as far as Locke had nothing but faith in the island and died.
Mm-hmm.
And
you see that same dynamic between Jack and Man in Black.
Exactly.
And Locke and Jacob.
And Jack went the other direction too. I don't believe in this. I don't believe in any of this. And then you see him popping pills with a giant ass beard.
Yeah.
Going, what was that? I don't know. And then he finally comes to terms with it. And in the end, Jack isn't one or the other. In the end, Jack, I'll never forget the part where they're going to light the dynamite. Like, okay, I'm Richard Alpert, I'm going to blow myself up. Yeah, watch me. Jack sits next to it because he's watched other things happen, and he uses reasoning.
Yep.
Hey, it's not going to blow up. And that is both, if you think about it, scientific deduction that it's not going to happen, but he also has faith it's not going to. He's kind of just, let's take our chances. And it's that kind of cool reception. It's that kind of just, hey, man, let's see.
Yeah.
That's why, in the end, he's the hero. And that's why Hurley ends up inheriting the island. Because what did Hurley do? He was never, I'm on this side. Oh, no, I'm on that side. He was never that. He was whatever he could do to help people. It was just, hey, dude, whatever. That was his thing. He was totally whatever. And if somebody needed help, he'd help them out. And that's it. He subscribed to that. It was never staunch one way or the other. It was just, hey, man, I'm cool with everybody. I'll help whoever.
Yep.
So and he inherited the island. So there you go. Anyway, talked a lot.
Yep. Which is
kept on talking.
Which
Sorry.
Is what I thought was going to happen.
Yeah. Were you going to say something or did I?
No. That
cut
just
you
the man
off.
of science and faith thing.
Yeah. To Sega, actually, I can't run a commercial. Never mind. To the guy, Sega CEO, who said that Lost didn't have anything interesting to say, I don't think that's true. I really am. I feel bad for you. I just think that that show said a lot about self-judgment. I mean, really, that's all I need to say. It really said a lot about self-judgment and personal, just what is your personal worth? Do you need other people to find it? Can you do it alone? Letting go. All these things. It's like, I don't know any other show that bookended that good with themes like that. You know, like, I don't know. I'm in a long way. Do you think Hurley lived on another 1,000 years or did he die of old age? Hey, I think he passed it on. I think he passed it on to Walt. Remember, Hurley didn't want to be a leader. He kept saying in the show when he's looking at the ceremony between Jacob and Jack, he goes, glad it's not me.
Yeah.
And then what happens when in the epilogue, they go and meet Walt?
Got work to do.
And he says, hey, I want to talk to you about a job. And I think that was the job.
I think he did it for a long time. I think that Hurley did it for, as long as he felt like necessary, and then he willingly passed it on. Just because I got the sense of that from the interaction of him and Ben. Like,
yeah.
And that was weird. The first time I saw that, I didn't understand
that made
what was going
no
on.
sense. No, you're right.
When they meet up and he goes, hey, we're waiting for you. And then Ben goes, yeah, well, it's not my time yet. You were a good leader. And I remember just sitting there going, what the fuck are they talking about?
Yeah, hey, you were great number one, man. You were great number two. Oh, okay. There's history definitely in those words.
I really went down.
Oh, Kevin Stott says no spoilers. He's on episode 1.
Oh shit.
I think we might have spoiled something that might be. I think the stuff we just talked about might be in episode 2, or it might be later. I'm not sure.
Did you ever hear about the California lottery? No, I hope not.
No, I've never heard of it.
I played those numbers once, and then I immediately regretted it.
Another TV series set on the Lost Island. I'm down with that. I'm down with that. Just for to me, it ended. So to me, make it. If it sucks, all right. I got the old thing. That's fine.
Everybody always freaks out, and I think I think I've talked about this before, but maybe not here. People always talk like it's going to change what's already been done.
Yeah, and I never understood that.
Hey, release a new Evil Dead. It's not going to change the Evil Dead trilogy.
Yeah.
That's still going to be the Evil Dead trilogy. Like, Rambo First Blood is still Rambo First Blood.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't matter how many Rambos
Oh, it's ruined now. Yeah, no, I know.
No, everybody knows the first Rambo movie is really good. And
that happened with whatchamacallit, when they were going to make a live action Ava movie. There was lots of, well, this show's dead. No, it's not.
No, it's still
make
the same show. Make it. I would love to see somebody. That's the same mentality, and I still don't care about seeing Life of Pi, but that is the same mentality that would keep somebody from even trying to make it, and then I was like extremely impressed with how well received it was at the it won like 6 Oscars for like several things, and I was extremely impressed with that because it was a movie that was like deemed as don't even try. Well, somebody tried and they did a really good job with it, so you never know. Just let's see what's gonna happen. Maybe it'll be good. I would love the thing that I thought would have been cool would have been that I know I brought this up before, that hoax with Studio Ghibli making Lost.
Oh, the Lost anime stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish that was true.
That would have been cool just because I would have loved to see what they would have done with it. Mm-hmm. Because they would have fucking went with it. They wouldn't have just done like a normal like what we saw on the show. They would have done something extraordinary with it. And I thought that would have been a really cool thing to do. But
yeah.
You know.
That would have been awesome, actually. I wish they would. Speaking of anime,